welcome to ETF Edge, your go-to place for everything exchange-traded funds. I'm your host, Bob Pisani. We're back at the New York Stock Exchange. Boy, we had a very big Bitcoin conference this weekend. I want to get some thoughts on that from Greg King. He's the CEO of Osprey Funds, which runs the Osprey Bitcoin Trust. Michael Sonnenschein is right here to my left, CEO of Grayscale Investments, which runs Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Greg, you're still in Miami, and very colorful commentary from some of the reporters down there. I saw people attacking the Federal Reserve, saying they're evil. I saw people attacking Elon Musk, saying he was evil. Kind of strange bedfellows there. I saw the president of El Salvador saying he wants to make Bitcoin legal tender. While you're down there right now, just give us a sense of the flavor of what's going on there.
A lot of excitement down here. You know, it's Miami. It's warm. It's sunny. And you've got an international investing hub. So you really have a confluence of a lot of people who are super enthusiastic about what's going on with Bitcoin. You do have that sense of community, though, especially, and I think you're talking about Elon Musk and whether this is a Fed, you know, the Bitcoiners tend to rally against what they see as forces that oppose them. But I think generally speaking, the mood here is one of positivity. It's taking the movement forward from where it's been over the last 12 years, and certainly an endorsement by a country, you know, El Salvador, saying they're seriously considering submitting a bill, and the president, I believe, said he will submit a bill that will make Bitcoin, if it passes, legal tender in that country. I mean, that would still be a huge, huge indicator of acceptance for Bitcoin. So a lot of excitement down here in Miami.
Wow. And Michael, your people are a little different, right? Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is a little bit different. You have institutional investors, kind of a different crowd. You're not there. But I really was struck about this moment when the president of El Salvador says, I'm going to make Bitcoin, you know, legal tender. The dollar is already legal tender down there. But that's kind of an interesting moment. I don't know if you took away anything from that.
It is an interesting moment, and I couldn't be there because I wanted to be here with you, Bob. But it's an interesting moment. I think as we think about, you know, nation states and central banks exploring digital currencies, we're not surprised to see places that have historically relied on the dollar or folks who have experienced hyperinflation exploring the potential merits of digital currencies.
Yeah, and but I was quite serious. Your people are a little different than some of the, shall we say, libertarians that go down there to that particular conference? You institutional, more pension fund-oriented people?
We do. The Grayscale family of products, we service a lot of institutions, accredited investors, pensions, endowments, and then also a lot of retail investors as well. You know, GBTC, largest publicly traded Bitcoin fund in the world.
Yeah. Greg, I'm wondering if just back to this, whether there's a moment or not. You know, Jack Dorsey purchased more than, I think, $200 million in Bitcoin through Square since October of last year, said that this was the most important project in the world, that if he wasn't working on Square, he'd be spending his life working to develop Bitcoin. Is there some kind of, I'm looking for some moment here, is there some kind of escape velocity that's starting to happen, or are we just reporters succumbing to too much of the hype around this?
No, I think I wouldn't pin it all on this weekend, though. I think this movement started in the fall of last year. Certainly when Bitcoin crashed through, or crashed upwards through 20,000, its previous all-time high, and started a new bull run. You started to see a lot of corporations like Square, MicroStrategy, and others. That was a new thing, corporations putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet, and big ones, Tesla famously. But you've also seen insurance companies start to dip a toe in. You saw large asset management groups like BlackRock, et cetera, starting to talk about it. So Bitcoin continues to steamroll forward. And I think, you know, any talk about the most recent sell-offs down here was pretty muted.
Yeah. I guess, Michael, the question I have is, if you buy into the concept of crypto, what is truly special about Bitcoin? Or if you buy into the concept of blockchain, which I think is the truly revolutionary technology in my mind. I'm a big blockchain fan, not necessarily a Bitcoin fan. So I guess it seems like we've got all these alternative investments out there, NFTs, Ethereum and the rise of Ethereum, smart contracts, decentralized finance. Is Bitcoin waning as the sort of dominant motif of blockchain in general and crypto in particular?
Well, I think certainly over the last year, as we've seen economic stimulus keep getting pumped into not only the U.S. economy, but around the world, you've seen a lot of investors gravitating towards Bitcoin for its verifiable scarcity. And there's a general appreciation that Bitcoin and the digital currency asset class as a whole are really here to stay. And so a lot of investors have begun moving not into just Bitcoin, but even assets like Ethereum, starting to explore new protocols within DeFi and others, because there actually are differentiated use cases amongst the various digital currencies that are out there.
Yeah, Bitcoin, I have said blockchain is the truly revolutionary technology because it answers the question, how do I know I ever owned anything in the world? And it seems like those smart contract concepts behind Ethereum now goes a long way towards dealing with those particular issues that are out there. But I want to ask you about the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, because a number of people wrote in and said it's been trading at a substantial discount to Bitcoin this year. Can you explain why that's happening? Is there a supply-demand issue here? What's causing that?
Yeah, so Grayscale Bitcoin Trust trades under symbol GBTC. It's the first Bitcoin investment vehicle to become an SEC reporting company. And over the last few months, it has traded at a discount to its net asset value. That's not uncommon for funds that look a little bit more like a closed-end structure to trade at premiums and discounts. And so what we've certainly seen is more supply coming into the market, and that may have an influence on it. But ultimately, the price at which it trades is dependent on market forces and investor sentiment. So for a lot of investors thinking about getting Bitcoin exposure right alongside stocks, bonds, ETFs, right, whatever else they may own, GBTC may be a compelling opportunity for them.
But that's why I get back to is there some issue about it waning Bitcoin in general? Because it was trading at a premium for the longest time until last year. And then suddenly February, it just, so around there, it just kind of changed. And it went to a discount. I mean, to me, that would say maybe people are interested in alternatives or something like that.
Well, no, it is the secondary market for privately placed shares. So over time, as the fund has grown to be larger, again, the largest Bitcoin fund in the world, more shares have come into the market. And so ultimately, over time, you'll see that supply and demand balance come back into play.
Yeah, 24 billion assets under management. That's pretty good. That is definitely the largest one out there.